Everyone, it's not here again, and we're going to do a recap on the first week of October that just passed, or we're literally still in the week. So, all right. Now, for the first week of October, or let me say the ending of September, we haven't really had any good moves. No very good moves has happened since the beginning of Monday till now. So, henceforth, you just in certain things like this or in certain times like this, you just have to preserve your capital and the rest. Well, nonetheless, let's get right into the matter. Now, when it comes down to looking at price, I'm sure by now all of us will are conversant with something with the way price moves. Most of the times, price moves from liquidity to liquidity. Just try to identify the liquidity at which price is moving, then identify the range at which price creates, then voila, just continue with that till Valhalla, and then you see your result you're looking for. Now, since on Monday, I've been looking for quite the sale happening. From on Monday, I was expecting this fair value gap to hold here, this fair value gap as well to hold. Now, something that comes to trading is when you are looking at trading, when it comes to trading in particular, when you have your bias, there's one thing that always protects you, even if your bias is wrong. You see that confirmation for entry, that thing always protects you. Never play with it because it always protects you, even if your bias is wrong. As long as you're waiting for something for confirmation before you enter the trade, you always be protected. Now, going back into the trade, we are going to identify where we identified key sectors at which where price reacted from. Now, this is from last week. Price pushed up, tapped into an external liquidity here, kept on pushing up, pushing up. I was waiting for what the bears to kick in, and the bears didn't kick in until it took out what the high here. After it took out this high, that's when we started looking for what for potential sales to take out what this low. Now, in all that price did, it didn't give me any solid confirmation within the time frame at which I am meant to enter trades. So I still waited and price came up back, swept up this high. After sweeping that high, we still looked at how price closed. How the price closed? Price still closed what inside. So obviously, with price closing inside, you just go down and look for what supplies, which is on Tuesday, 10th of October. We just go down to 30 minutes time frame to look for supplies and the rest. Remember, I said something when we started this video. I said when it comes to entries, never play with your confirmations for entry because they are going to save you even when your bias is wrong. Now, when it comes here looking for supply to enter, this is the 10 o'clock, right? This is 10 o'clock bearish candle. If you look price, there's no supply, there's no valid supply. Yes, we can look at this one and say it was a valid supply, but it wasn't. In order for this supply to be valid, in order for that supply to be valid, price was not supposed to clear out this demand first. It was meant to give me a before I'd enter. That's what I'm saying. It was meant to give me a reaction like price coming from here taps into this demand, gets back into the supply, then continue. Such sort of reaction. But what happened instead was that price took out what the demand. After taking out the demand, I just knew that this order isn't something we'll take. So I ended up canceling what the position and letting it be. So in honesty, on Tuesday there was no trade opportunity as well. Now when we continue looking at everything, when we're still looking at everything, we'll see that as on Tuesday there wasn't any trading opportunity, and then on Wednesday, price took out what this high. After price took out this high, what did it do? It took out the high on by 6. Then next thing for us to look for what? A confirmation. Now let me give you guys a scope. Let me give you guys a scope here. Whenever price is moving, your first job is to identify where price is coming from. Now, if price gives you a sweep here, that means what? This low is invalid. So whenever you see that the bears have settled in, the next thing you can look for is supply to take what? To take out this low. And then you watch price behavior. If price changes its character and continues on the sell, you follow the sell. If price gives you the buy confirmation, you follow what? The buys. Now, remember, the first step is to know where price is. After you identify where price is, then you wait for your confirmation to know that what price is actually there before what continuing what the momentum. Now, after 6 o'clock candle, this is the 4 hour time frame by the way. After the 6 o'clock candle took out this high, I was waiting for what a bearish candle to close next. Then for New York session, we are going to enter and target where this low. You might ask, why is it this low we're targeting? We're targeting this low because price has taken out what? The high. This is the low that caused price to what? To take out this high. Now, the most funniest thing that happened was that price came back. It before even my time to enter, it took out the low. And the instant it took out this low, there's no point in you what selling because the target has already been taken out, right? Now that my target has been taken out, what happened? Then I relaxed for Wednesday. There's no trade on Wednesday. Then when it comes to on Thursday. On Thursday, I had a very clean setup here. Although I got stopped out to break even. I believe this is where the move originated from. Take note, please take note. This is the origin for this sweep here. So now this is not a valid break of structure, implying that what this is not a valid high as well. So this is likely going to be what our next target for price, especially when the bulls are inside the market. Then I waited for my confirmation, and then by 2 o'clock, when we woke up for London session, which 2 o'clock candle has closed, that's like 6 a.m. in the morning. We saw this candle that has closed with what? The bearish confirmation. Then the next thing I did was, it has given me everything I needed. What else am I waiting for? Went down to my 30 minutes time frame to what? To look for my demand, which in the demand axis, you can see that it is valid as what? Price took it out. Now take note, take note. You can see here that I did not enter here because price took out this price. After price taking out the low that originated this demand, it came out for what? The extended low, which makes this supply no longer valid. Now for this demand, did you see price come after this high? No, price did not touch this high, this particular high. Price did not touch it. The price broke through what? The high that created what? The demand. The next thing, I went down to the 15 minutes so that I can get a very clear thingy demand. And then I got the demand from here. So from here, uh, what next to do was just come down here, enter, place, and honestly, this is just the trade. I believe we're like 7 hour, 8 thereabouts. So in all honesty, this is how the trade was. But the instant price started coming back here, I took break even. I took the 1 hour that it gave me and then left it to be. And then I left it to be as it is. Now, one thing to know is that this setup was very valid. There's nothing wrong with it, nothing entirely. So the setup was valid, everything was valid. Now, when we look at the trade recap is what I'm doing right now. And everything was valid in trade, but market decided to do whatever it wanted to do. So, yeah, we have that. Now, when we continue with what we're doing, what the price do next, which is on Thursday, ending Thursday trading session, what the price do? Price closed like this, right? After price closed like this, the next thing is, I hope we can see this right here though. Price closed like this. Now, this is the low, right? This is the low that price created before coming down back to take it out. This is the low that printed what? This high. Always find the origin of every move. For every swing leg, there's an origin. For every swing leg like this, there's an origin that caused the leg. And there's the what? The external liquidity. And especially once price has given you the range, it has given you here as your target and here as your was protected level. The next thing for you to wait for in this sort of case is to wait for your demand to build up, then you follow up what to the next external liquidity. And in such, the market will do it again. When it is ready, it will show you sign, then you follow up and continue. This is how what this is how we get everything we're basically looking for when it comes to the range. Now, going back to the chart, we could see that price has cleared this move, and the next candle what closed below what the break here. So now it has closed below the break. What is that? What does that signal? It signals what? The pressure of the sellers. It signals the pressure of the sellers in the markets. So now we already have what? The presence of the sellers in the market. So the next thing we're waiting for is we're waiting for clear confirmation in order to sell. But right now, as on Friday, there was no clear confirmation to sell. No clear confirmation to sell. After this candle came up and closed, we went down to 30 minutes time frame. Look for the valid what? Look for the valid supply. We could say this one is a a valid supply rather, but it's not valid. And the reason why it's not valid is very simple. The reason why it's not valid is because it came after a low here. After taking out its own low, it came after what? This low. I hope you understand what I mean there, but with time, we'll grab everything and understand. Going back to our 4 hour time frame. Now, looking at everything that's happening here, you can see that what price has created what a new origin. A new origin here because price has what taken out this high. As long as price has taken out this high, I'm just going to do my weekly outlook from here. As long as price has taken out this high, so where's our next target? Our next target is still this low because this low is what the origin. This is the origin of what this move. The next candle, if this candle closes inside, if this candle closes inside this range, within this range, this candle closes here. I'm coming. Sorry, it's the wrong tool I used. If this next candle closes within this range, then next thing we can look for from as on Monday is what? Sellers to come in to take out this low. Once this low is taken out, we'll watch what price does and then we'll know what next we are doing. So stay tuned. You can join the Telegram channel. Everything is literally dropped there every time. Every trading site dropped there. So whenever you see anything you like, you take along and follow. Have a great day.